right, guys. Earlier today with Stacie Tee, we dumped out a bunch of bins. Looks good. Let me just show you what's left here. That's what we're looking at right now. I took a lot. I already got a bucket and a half, 6-gallon bucket, so roughly about 40 pounds. So Friday night, I got a bunch of worms down here. Sometimes I leave them, but I got so many down here tonight that I better not leave them. Let's say the light went off. All of them would go all over the place. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pack some bins. All right, I have one here that I just added some, I put the can there to hold the subfloor newspaper and some paper there, the minced paper there at the bottom. So now, I'm gonna go like this. I got my casting bucket. Got my casting bucket here. I got my, the next one I'm gonna ferment here, okay? And I'm gonna go to my iPad, if you can just hold on a little bit, and see if I can answer any questions, if all. We're getting better and better at this live video and thing, live video chat. Okay, let's see here. Where are you, Marky? Boom, 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 boom. All right, I see live here. Let's go here. All right. We're live. I gotta shut this off, or I'm gonna get an echo. Here. Let's go here. Oh, look at that messy basement. I'm gonna work on that. All right, I'm turning my volume down, and I'm gonna put my iPad somewhere. If you guys have any questions, anybody that's gonna be viewing, I see one watching now. Maybe that's me, right? Oh, it is probably me. All right, where's my gloves? Got to have my gloves. I guess I'll wear my rubber gloves now. Where's the ones I had earlier that I was going to use before I started using good ones here? Let's see here. How's everybody doing on this Friday night? I got these bins I got to clean out from today. Just went out to supper with my son. Came back. These worms hopefully went down deep. And I did post it on our Vernmenting link. I should put it in our other groups. All right. All right, so this is the castings, the finished castings. This is where I'm going to put the new stuff. Now, let's see here. Where's my worm chow? Worm chow is right here. That's our worm chow. And I got to tell you, it doesn't smell that great. I got some cardboard here that's been sitting in this worm chow. I'm just going to throw that right in there, just like that. Boom. Then I'm going to get my newspaper. Maybe that's not a great place to put that. Let me put this over here, my iPad. I see a little bit of delay in that part of it. Let's see here. So, all right, get my newspaper. Make a loose composting roll is basically what I do, right? Just take it like that. I'll pack that in there too. Tons of newspaper. You know, we talk about newspaper in some of our clubhouse. And from my research, the ink is all food grade ink. So you don't have to worry about newspaper, is the consensus. I do not use stuff like this. I just use this kind. Funnies and stuff with color or wax on it, I don't use. I just make the composting roll like that. And I just put it like that. Stuff it in loosely. I usually use 2-ply. I've already packed a couple earlier of these bins. So this was full. As you know, if you follow my videos, I also bury these in my towers. I buried a bunch of them in all the new towers that I just built. And 3. And what I'll do here is I'll add a little of my duff. And as I said earlier, this stuff has some lime in it. I'll spread it like this. Boom, boom, boom. Sometimes I'll add some paper, just for the fun of it. Almost like making a cake, isn't it? All right, now just throw more of that in. Boop, boop, boop. And let's make some more rolls here. This paper is wet. Let me see, this one, I don't even like that one. I'm gonna throw that one out. So I just like to use this paper here. 2-ply. Grab it. Right. Loosely pack it. Just put it in like that. Boom. So this is basically, if you were watching the video before this, the live video before this, it shows what it looks like after when I open it up. So this is all going to look like this, right? Let's see here, one more. And let's see here, we got 1 million people in the room. 1 million of me. All right. But this will be good for later on. I don't have to edit it. This is basically how I showed you earlier in that last video, how I store my food waste so it drains still, and you know, you can cap it and seal it in the same time. That last live video, we kind of touched upon that. All this, just throw it right in there like that, boom. They're not picky, these angels of the soil, they love it. My furnace, that's a bummer. I could shut it off for now. Let's see, let's do that. Let's shut that off. This is gonna be no more than an hour. At an hour, when did I start this? This is not gonna last more than an hour. That's good, the way that's packed. Oh, let me get the rest of this. Some of it's wet down there. Can you see it? Yeah, you can see it. Let's do this last one here. Then, I'll put some duff. Just like that. Now, we're gonna set this guy aside, and we're gonna see how many worms went to the, well, not many, darn it. But that's all right, because maybe I won't set this to the side. Maybe I'll take these guys and just fill it up. I'm not in any great rush. It's coming to winter now here in New England, so I'm not in a great rush for these castings. Let's just throw all these right on here like that. How many? I don't know. Just like that. Let me get even more. There's a good... Oh, fudge. What the hell? Oh, that's that damn scrape. Okay. I got a boo-boo there. Let me take this glove off. Since I pierced it with that great Stacie Tee. When trying to experiment with your thing, I got a boo-boo. Hey, boo-boo. Hey, boo-boo. Let me get a fresh glove on there so I don't get any worm castings on there. All right, this one has been packed and is full. I'll take care of that later. See, it can be dangerous work, can't it? I have a 1/4-inch thing down below there that I was going to do a little experiment with Stacie Tee as far as self-harvesting. And I think I blew that thing. I'll have to learn more about that. All right, so let's cap this. Boom. Like that. Put it over with the other ones that need to be dated. Put that right here. Okay, now we'll get another fermenting bin. And make sure we have our seal on there like that. And I see we have 3 watchers right now. How exciting is that? 3 million watchers. Here, now I clean this bucket out just like this. All that casting crumb right there. Now, I think I told you guys when you make these bins, bring your holes up this high off the bottom, only because when you're running your card to clean them, you want it to be able to go under easily. I've made them this low, and I have a hard time, and the worms go hide under there. And sometimes you can squish them. So you need to make some space there. All right. That. I don't have to clean it out that great for now because I'm going to pack it. I'm going to get my can, my subfloor, can, subfloor, basically nothing, and my inner aeration tube. What I'll do is I'll wrap this like this. I usually stuff the bottom there, and then I'll put some more newspaper right down the bottom like that. Boom, boom. Add my aeration tube. Boom. Now put some minced paper. Get yourself a shredder, micro shredder. They make a 20 sheet one. Mine's 16 and it does the toughest of cardboard. And I call this paper and minced cardboard, I call that PUD, Potential Urban Duff. It's great. It's almost like leaves, probably better than leaves. The way, if you're talking about vermiculture, they love it. And I'm going to mix a little bit of humus or duff or leaf mold there. So now we're going to pack it. Now I'm almost done. This food is all done there. So I got to go get myself another bin of worm chow that we talked about in the last video. All right, I'll put that right here. Stuff here. Take this like this. Take the cap off. And I could chop this up a little more, but guess what? I'm not gonna. It's good enough for these guys. We chop it up, of course, as I said in other videos, because the more surface area exposed on our organic matter, the faster it'll. But this one, I'm just going to throw it in just like that. Getting lazy with the composting rolls, Mark. I used to make them really tight and pack a little bunch of them in there. But now I find you want to make them loose. And some may say, why do you need paper in the first place, right? First of all, it gets rid of the paper, so you don't have to throw it away. Newspaper and cardboard is great. See, look at that. Just gonna throw it right in here like this. Boom. This one here. Now, folks, in each one of these little bins, as you can tell, we're packing some serious stuff in here. Serious no-nos, right? There. Get some paper. I'll throw that in there. That'll soak up some of the juices. Sticks, throw them in there. Let's put in duff, and let's add some more rolls. There we go. What do we think? Loosely packed. That's another reason why they go down so fast, too. You know, we pack them up to here, but we pack them so loosely, you know, the worms work at it, and that's why it goes down so fast, right? Because they really are packed loosely. There we go. Boom. So I got my iPad on. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask a question. See, look at this one. It's kind of crazy. People are probably going to think it's crazy, but guess what? It'll turn to castings. I got a beef jerky thing in there. A Slim Jim or something like that. Similar. Put a little duff on there. Throw some paper on there. And hey, I'll put a little more paper on there. It's, you know, you just go by what you think. What you're feeling at any given time. No rhyme or reason. But you got to admit, we are certainly packing a lot of compost in a little bin. I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, there's a residential vermiculture worm farm that processes this much house organics. I would love to know that system. I've made a couple of continuous flow bins myself, the T55, which worked fine enough. But guess what? They're so big, you make one mistake in there. These are individual. One system altogether. They're individual in their own right. So if you make a mistake with one, or if one gets really hot, you muck up on the thermophilic stage. You muck up on one, you don't necessarily ruin your whole farm, right? So that's another beauty. And we've already talked about that these make great places to store your castings at the very least. At the very least, if you don't want to use it as a worm farm, it's a great way to store castings. So I'm going to add a little more duff on top of there, like that. And then I'm going to get me some worms. There we go. There's a bunch. They're not going down as fast as I'd like them to. But there's a lot of worms in here. Let's just put them all right on here like that. Come here, guys. All right. So usually I get these castings down more than that, and I don't add as much. But since winter's here, like I said earlier, I don't need them right away. So I might as well just run them through the system again. Cap it, put it over to all these others that need to be dated. So you see how, let me get another fermenting bin here, boom. What do? We get our can and our subfloor. Can, subfloor. Let's put a little newspaper down on the bottom. That we'll throw in there too, what the heck. It just doesn't matter. If it's organic, they're going to eat it. They're going to eat it and like it. Right? They're going to eat it and like it, and they're going to prosper. Let me just make a quick little... This paper was left outside in the rain last night, as I said in the other one. So it's a little wet. Not a big deal. Down to two viewers. We lost one. What is it, a Friday night? You got something better to do than to watch me dump or create or pack fermenting bins? All right, this Friday night. Let me grab my beer here. Right? Okay, join me if you got yourself a beer or a glass of wine or whatever you do to relax the mind. And pretend that it tastes good. All right, let's put it down below here like that. Add a little bit of duff that has lime in it. And then let's roll up some rolls. Just like that. Boom. Hope nobody calls me because I forgot to set my phone off. So if somebody calls me, that's the end of the video, I guess. You get enough. You get the idea with it. See, this kind of paper I'll use. Sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't. That seems like it's safe enough to me. There's no nasty chemicals in there. I might have to go to my weeds. I have some weeds that I've been fermenting that we saw earlier in the other one. Might go to those tonight. Well, and you can experiment your own. If you don't want to put them in composting rolls like I'm doing, maybe you could. I just don't want that. I think that put them in a composting roll like that, I have a feeling that it helps stop that thermophilic heating up stage. We were talking on Facebook on Ultimate Worm Composting Collaboration Group. And we're talking about gross things that people post. This probably could be one of them. The kind of posts you love to hate, right? You know, I follow this girl called Cosmic Carrie. And I followed her many years ago because she did a wonderful job with the tower gardens. She had like probably 9 or 10 of them in her backyard in Florida. And she was doing a great job with it. And she was the only one that I've ever found so far that wasn't necessarily doing it to sell them, like Juice Plus people. And so she was honest what she was doing. She doesn't do it anymore. Of course, I know why she doesn't do it anymore. Because it ain't easy. But she mastered it. She was very good at it. And that's not easy to do, believe it or not. As much as they say it is, it's not. And I always text her in her YouTube and I say, Carrie, could you please give us the reason why you stopped using the tower garden? You spent all that time. And she invested a ton of time and energy. I'm gonna throw this in here too. In it. And now she doesn't do it. Well, anyway, getting back to the gross, she does mukbangs. When she does videos, she sits in her car or she sits in her house and she just shovels food in her mouth while she's eating. And it's like so irritating, you can't stop watching her because she comes up with some funny stuff that she's talking about. Regular stuff, you know? So I got to give her a plug on that. I don't know if she's still on there. Throw that peanut in here. All right, let's sift some of these castings. I'll get some of them off the top. Put some duff over here. And let's just take some of this off the top. Put it in our finish. You're not going to get all the worms. And there's still enough stuff in here. As I've showed you in some of my videos, sometimes when I get to the top, I'll pack a composting roll in there. The babies will hatch. They'll go into the roll. And that roll I'll just put into a Vernmenting bin. One like this one right here. Okay, I'm going to go over to my iPad now and see if anybody has a question. I see. Well, what have I stumbled upon here? Oh, yes. Hi, Kaylee. Yeah, it's just me opening up. Not opening up. We did a live video earlier. This is going to go to this stuff. We did a live video earlier on how the finished material, this stuff here, and now we're packing new with all new material. So this is a Vernmenting bin. This will probably sit in my basement until springtime, this here. While the microbial world and all the babies hatch, they'll go and they'll turn this. That's when it'll be sellable. That'll be a sellable product when I open this in the springtime. But for now, it's too heavy to move around because it's so wet. And it's, nobody wants little sticks in there when you're buying. If you go to the store and you see store-bought castings, they look amazing. These, you could still, as I said in the other video, you could still put them in your towers. No doubt, so you could still have it working for you. You just can't sell them like that. I don't think anybody would buy them. But who knows? I might be wrong. This guy goes in here. I try to get as many worms out of here as I can because I'm seeing a lot of cocoons, which is always a good thing. Like that. Got this bone. This is part of that rabbit bone we talked about earlier in the last one. My son, God love him, he hit a big rabbit. And he felt so bad about it. Ran right under his car. And so we brought it home and we fermented it like we've done with possums and raccoons. Imagine a full raccoon and a full possum and a big rabbit in one of these things. I don't do it as much anymore like that. But I will if I have to. It's better than leaving them out on the road. Tell you what, I feel so bad every time I see them out there. If I have a chance to pick them up, I pick them up and I compost them. I'll turn them into soil and I'll grow with them. I try to keep them in my flower beds. Good job, Mark. Look at all that waste there. All these worms that you're supposed to be taking out of here. Dabam. All right. All right, let's close this one up. So I'm going to go dig down deep here. And we're going to get some of these worms out of here. Put them on top like that. There you go. Don't fall out of here, guys, because you're destined to die and dry out if you go down there. That's not fun. I got to get this screen out of here, Stacie Tee. Sorry to say. Well, I got to leave it in, but see it? It's putting holes in my gloves and my scan. I'm going to add some more worms here. Let me see over here. There we go. I'll grab all these. Couple thousand. I would imagine. Nah, maybe 100. I don't know how many's there. One can only guess. Let me get my lid. We cap it. Date it. And we won't look at it for 4 weeks. Put that right over here like that. Boom. As I've said, I think I'm only going to go an hour tonight with this. I say that, but we'll see. Let's play it by ear. All right, so now we need another fermenting bin. So we got one right here. Boom. Get our can that holds the subfloor. Can that holds the subfloor. The subfloor itself. We'll put some paper down. What else we got here? Oh, we're still at 4. That's great. I don't feel so alone when I at least see 4 people. I think one of those people is me, so there's really 3 people in here. Let me just fold that like that. Now we'll grab our aeration tube. Wrap that again. Just ate at Chili's tonight with my son and I. And I thought, I have all these worms in the basement. Sometimes I leave the light on, but I had so many worms under here right now. I don't want to take the chance, so I might as well get the work done now. Put that like that. You get some more shredded paper. There we go. Sometimes I add the lime right to the paper as well. Just like that. Like that. Let's get some little bit of Duff. Get lazy mark here. I'm not looking too neat down there. Don't tell the worms. All right, I'm almost done with this food bucket as well. This one was only half full. There. I got some weeds I could put in there, but I don't have them chopped up. I don't think you want to see me chopping it up. But maybe I will. We'll see how I feel. Everything, folks. Nothing is off limits. I find that the red wiggler and all that biodiversity that follows them will turn it into worm castings. And as I said in my other video there, all my garden goes in here. My tomato plants, and we opened a couple of those in that last video. Some weeds. Sometimes I feed weeds to my reds. They don't care. This is wet. Wet and gooey. What am I going to do with that? I'll show you what I'm going to do with that. If I can find the right paper. I'm just going to wrap it in more paper like that. Stuff it in just like boom. That's done. And I'll add a little more paper to soak up some of that moisture. Now all this liquid here, as you know, I'm not going to repeat it, but that liquid's going to go to our CBC. Listen, I'm not going to repeat it, and yet I repeat it. Because those who watch them are probably sick of hearing it, but that's going to go to our carbon-based composting bin where we make some awesome leaf mold. Duff. Diterius under forest floor. Did I finally say that right? God, that word I've been having such a hard time with. So I'll go over here and get, let's see, do I do these weeds? Let's see what they look like. These guys have been pickling for a while. God, that is some heavy weight. Let's see here. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to do some weeds. What I'm going to do, usually I drain them better. There's water in there. Let's see here. Let me see what I can do. I'll grab this bucket here. Let's just take some liquid out of it, right? Take the liquid out of it. That liquid smells, but it's got so much biodiversity in it. When I put it in my carbon-based composting bin and cover it nice, like anytime you do compost the right way, you never have a smell. And the beauty about a carbon-based composting bin is you got no unwanted vermin that care to go in there to eat. I'll find a mouse in there in the middle of the winter to stay warm, but certainly there's no possums or raccoons or skunks or anything that wants to get at it because the nitrogen is all in liquid form. So there's nothing really for them to eat. Temperatures get nice and hot, very consistent, very predictable, softening up the leaves, making ready for the worms. Come, let's say I go 4 or 5 months with high heats, softens it up. Come spring, I'll put, come like early April, I'll put a bunch of worms on top of it. They'll do their magic on there. Then I'll take that whole pile and put it in an eave tower that looks similar to the carbon-based composting tower. And I'll start cold composting it, right? But while I'm cold composting it, I'm growing food with it. And come the end of August, all that stuff is soil. So I'm literally using my compost 6 months sooner than, let's say, the Johnson Sioux people do. The J-Sioux. You guys ever hear of the Johnson Sioux bioreactor? Let me see, I got a question here, I think. Mark, noticed you added some lime. I don't do that in Arizona as we are on the alkaline side of the scale. Getting ready to make a run through my 6 buckets the next day or 2. Ooh, nice. Yeah, who's that? That is Carl. Oh, exciting, Carl. Please post on our Facebook. That'd be great. These are all my, what was these? What were these? Not what was these. I forget what the weed, this, I don't know if this was a weed. I don't know what it was. Oh, what am I chopping? Let's put that like that. Let's just throw them in here. Like this. Worms love to go into this stuff and lay their castings within. Just throw that in there like that. Just like that. Boom, boom. I have a little more too. But put that in there like that. I don't care. They'll eat it. Okay. Boom, boom. Now, I'm going to add a little paper first. Now see, we got our nitrogen here, right? We don't want this heating up. And it usually doesn't. But I'm still trying to figure all that out myself. So I'm going to put some carbon there first. Then I'm going to put some duff that has all like this. Boom, boom. Then I'm going to get me some worms. And then call this bucket a day. Get all these worms here. And just throw it around like that. Boom, boom. I don't want to cut my hands on that damn screen again. All right. Put that just like that. All right, that's it, guys. Now what am I going to do? I'm going to cap it, date it, and not look at it. That's the beauty about Vernmenting. Cap it, date it, pack it, cap it, date it, leave it. Come on, I need this lid. There we go. All right. You gotta get in there, buddy. I don't want to squish you. All right, cap it. Put it over here. Get myself another Vernmenting bin. We opened up just today. It needs cleaning out a little bit. Well, we've got 5 people in the room. That includes me too. Welcome everybody. Right now we're just packing some bins. Earlier we did a live video with Stacie Tee on how we what's more castings than that? On how it looks after it's done. This is how it looks when we're packing it. So 2-part series I should put. I got to go back to each of those videos and write some thoughts down in the information, put some links there. As I said earlier, Stacie Tee wants to do some live videos. She needs 1,000 YouTubers to do that. So if you're not a subscriber to her, then please consider it. She's got some good material on there. Can. The floor. Look at it. It's nothing. Just to hold it up a little, you know? Just to keep the stuff off the ground, from getting wet. This stuff's a good one. I'll stuff that right there. I'll stuff that right there, think nothing of it. Imagine if we all did something like this with our organics. We would stop all these big trucks that take all this heavy organic waste away. We would be growing plants to sequester the carbon we're not creating anymore. It's a win-win. And I always say, with technological unemployment being imminent, people are losing their jobs. And I look forward to the day when urban farming jobs are the jobs that people respect, like you'd respect a lawyer or some financial genius that moves around imaginary numbers. Urban farmer, far more productive, far more better for the planet. Just gonna throw all this right in here like this. Notice I'm not even putting it in a roll. Just gonna throw it right in here. Yeah, these were my weeds. Imagine it smells, this probably smells like kimchi or something. What kimchi would smell like. Well, not imagine, I've smelled kimchi. It is like that. Get some dry, like that. Add a little duff, like this. And this will be a weed bucket, that's all. The problem when you're doing weeds is these things you usually have to pick out. Not pick out, you just got to keep moving them. They don't work at the stems too fast. But they disappear. They turn to castings eventually. And it's not for the faint of heart, I guess. I think nothing of it. I don't think, I talk about worms to people and they get grossed out. Just compost it. Put it in a composting bin. Well, there's a difference between getting compost and getting worm castings, right? Go on Amazon, see which costs more. Castings do. Castings are my soil amendment, and my outside CBC is my soil base. Bring the two together and that's it. There's no Miracle Grow needed. It's all homegrown. That's the beauty of it. Shouldn't cost you nothing to grow food for yourself. It's all coming to us freely all day long. Plastic Mark, come on. All day long. You don't need to buy anything. So that's the beauty. This is my finished, this is going to be my second bin from today. 6 gallons. This is probably, I weighed this about 45, 50 pounds, I think, of castings. And when you open these, they usually don't go down. They usually stay like this. When I open this, like come, whenever I open it, probably if it's early in, late in April, no, early in April, late March, that one's done. The casting part is done. Now I gotta find my lids now. There's another fermenting bin, I'm gonna need that too. Let's use this for this. All right, this goes for castings, Mark. Remember that. These buckets all start to look alike. And if I don't do it tonight, I forget what I did. All right. Let's just put that there for now. Clean this one. What do we got here? Mark, I find Stacie Tee's video very informative. Definitely a fan, yeah. Me too. I found Stacie Tee, I said this in the last video. I found her because she was doing videos of worms being born, like with great clarity. I forgot to ask her what she uses. I think she just used her iPhone, I don't know. But she gets excited about them like I do, which is kind of fun. It's fun when people know their worth, their value. They're like the oldest creature, right, in the world. For the longest time. I was always fascinated with worms, even as a kid. I used to go night crawling all the time. Love it. Canadian night crawlers. That's my favorite worm. If I had to pick a worm, that's the one I love. I shouldn't say that too loud with all these red wigglers around me who are working so hard, breaking down my gross organics. Let's throw this in here. Let's throw this in here. Let's just do that. I don't even want to break it up. I just want to get some worms, finish that one off. Put those on just like that. Oops, sorry. Don't lose them. Move if you're there. Just like that. Oh, that's a whole handful of worms, right? Yeah, I'll throw you guys on there too. All right, that's going to be your world for the next 4 weeks. Hope you enjoy it. It's funny because that must be all these worms know. I've been doing it for so long. That's the only world they know. All right. What do we got here? 2, 4, 6, 8 that we've got. All right. Now, this one. These cards, I love these cards too for cleaning them out. Free gift cards. Everything's free. The universe gives it to you. You just gotta know how to turn it into something growable. A lot of people talk about plastics, right? These buckets here, I have some that have been outside for probably 5 years now. New England weather, cold in the winter. You do them like that, they're just as rugged. Food grade, But it is true. We don't want plastics leaking into our stuff, right? But I hate to say it, any soilless grower is using plastic. In a sense, it's container gardening, right? So they're doing it. If you're going to build some buckets, guys, I've said it before, don't bother with the 70 mil, even the 80 mil. Go for the 90 mil. And I'll show you what I mean by that. If I can find this bucket, here's one. I'll show you what I mean by that. See, you got a 2 here. You got a 2, that means it's food grade. And over here it says 90 mil. Can you see that? 90 mil, and you could tell the difference. Go to Home Depot and try to go like this. They bend so easy. Don't waste your money on Home Depot. You got those nasty logos on there, and it's just not worth it. People are throwing buckets away all day long, and once you have your mind on buckets, you're gonna find some buckets. Tell you what. It seems to me red worms eat your garbage. You have mastered your system, and you are sharing it. Oh, yeah. That's Russell. Yep. It's important. We got to teach people. If we have the information, open sourcing is very difficult in today's economy because we have to make money, right? So everybody, when they have a good idea, they want to patent it so they can hold on to it. It makes sense. In this system, you don't want anybody stealing it. But in the world that I hope to come, we share everything. Because my ideas come from the many hours spent watching other people who shared their information freely for everybody. Anything you want to know on YouTube, you got this person that's got a passion for what they love to do and they share it freely. I don't like using those as subfloors because they're hard to clean later on in life. So what am I going to use, Mom? You got time? You don't want people waiting around. Here's what I like right here. Right here. So simple. This wire I find on Facebook, a lot of people getting rid of wire. In fact, there's a guy getting rid of some galvanized fence. He's probably an hour away. Tomorrow. I would love to take that ride, but it's my wife's birthday tomorrow, and I don't want to say I'm going to do this kind of stuff. Although I like to. He's got a nice galvanized fencing that he's giving away. He's just got to take it apart. So knowing me, I'd go there, and it'd probably take me all day because it's probably, you know, in the pictures it shows that like they're buried in the ground. So I'll probably have to dig all the posts up. For all I know, they're probably in concrete. And if I go there, I can't leave there without getting it. Or why would I take the trip in the first place? All right, what are we doing, guys? Did we get rid of our weeds already? No. Jeez. Mark, come on, what are you doing? Have another sippy beer, will you? Here. Toast, everybody. Happy Friday. Hope everybody's going to have a good weekend. I'm just going to throw this. Do the same thing I did with the last bucket. This one's going to be a little wet. It'll drip down right down through the next bucket to the next bucket, right out the system. I showed that in the other video, how that works. Throw some Duff on there. Like that. All right, I should take some of this liquid out of there, though. So what I'll do is I'll come over here like this. Grab my trusty net. I should have did this when I first did it, but it was so heavy. And sometimes when you dump a heavy bucket out, it gets out of hand on you. It goes all over the place. So another interesting thing, I'm here in my basement, and so far I haven't had a need to put a sink down here. I have water, have my furnace right over here. I could do that. Sometimes I think a sink would be nice to have. Maybe my downstairs would be a little more cleaner. But I don't. I have a faucet outside this room that I fill up with water sometimes. Mark, what are you doing? Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Now, throw all that thing right in there like that. Boom. Get rid of these weeds for good. And throw a little duff on there too. Boom. And I'm going to put this green on this side like that. Get over there. And these red wigglers are going to turn these into castings. Come on. That's amazing. They're going to love it in here, believe it or not. This is kind of their favorite thing. I seem to find a lot of cocoons when they go in all those little, a lot of aeration going in there. Like a lot of room to move around. They love going into tight little spots. As you know, those of us who do vermiculture know. Come on, guys. Let's see what we got here. There we go. Alrighty. Oh, see? That damn screen, Stacie Tee. Every time I get poked by it, I think of you. I don't know what the benefit is for me right now with this system. I'm going to leave it on there so we can take a look at it. But cap it. And put it over here. I'm going to have to go up in my yard and get some more Vernmenting bins. I got one more here. Oh, there's a red too right here. Get over there now. Stop running. Stop being a runner. All right, this one, that's clean enough. And so, I'm gonna get my subfloor, my can. Boom. I need some more subfloor material for crying out loud. There's some right here, I think. Wonder everybody's leaving. It's kind of boring when you're looking around for stuff, Mark. Let's see here. Plenty of, here we go. And there's two of them right here. Look at this little dinky thing. That's all you need. Put it just like that. Boop. Paper down like that. Wrap it. What's this? How far are we now? We got 52. Well, I could keep you with me. Or I could do this on my own. All alone. And I'll still be talking like this, but I'll be talking to myself. That's what I'll be doing. Let's see, we got any more messages here? I find, okay, boom, boom, I found the bottom of this. Don't hold up, Stacie, yeah. They don't either, those 70 mil do not. And you can tell the difference. And where I get my buckets, a good place, is people who do, well, I get mine right around the corner. They do a lot of buffalo wings. Their buffalo wings come in these buckets. I have like, literally, and some of you who follow my videos know I've said this story. When I was bringing the kids to school, high school, I would go to these certain dumpsters every morning and find 5, sometimes 20 buckets at a time. Going. I asked the guy one time, I found the dump truck guy coming. I says, where are they going? They're going to the incinerator. All these beautiful buckets that were used only one time. Go to, the heck's that bucket place? Or even Amazon. I'm trying to think of the bucket place that sells this exact bucket. This bucket, and you have to buy bulk, is an $8 bucket, but you have to buy a lot of them to get the $8. Go on Amazon and they're crazy expensive. So, that's another story, right? I need some more paper. Where's that paper? I'll go over here. So it does take some work. You gotta, but we have to do it, guys. We have to all do our part. And I think, personally, in my opinion, that's something we can all do. We can all master. Let's teach our kids very early how to make soil, how to respect nature. We look at the stars. We look at the stars. We should look at the microbe world too. We should be looking up and we should be looking down. You know what I mean? If you get what I mean. Teach our kids that. Before history. We could do that at least before history. Reading, writing. There's my dog barking upstairs. Reading, writing, and nature. Food, where our food comes, how to grow your own food in case you have to. You know, we're not living on a Disney ride. Things can happen on this planet, whether it's our fault or not. You know, stuff's going to happen. Now I got to find some more food for these guys. We're going through some serious compost, as you can see here, with the weeds. I got some more weeds fermenting upstairs as well, but I won't be doing those tonight. I got some more compost over here. And that we'll be doing. This one's a little more full. See, as I was showing in the other video, I store it kind of like this. I've got a drain down here. This is the drain. And I got a cap on it so no air gets in here. So if there's any scutterflies or anything, hopefully they smother. And then take the lid off. And then we'll drain it too. Put this like that. Give me this bucket here. It's good enough. Like this. There we go. You can't see it on your side, but that water's draining into that bucket. I smell banana in that one. It's interesting, when you have all this stuff mixed together, it doesn't necessarily smell as bad as if it was individual for some reason. I don't know. Some people can't even stand that kind of stuff. Looks very loosely packed. This stuff I usually use for a different reason. I'll talk about that later in another video. I'll spare you that thought. What I love my paper bags. That's a great carbon. I'll be bummed if we ever figure out how we don't need paper, because it's a great urban farming tool right here. Resource, PUD, potential urban duff. All this paper, so many uses for the garden. Worms love it. There we go. Let's some here. This little duff. Don't tell me my duff is on top of here. Let's see. I think it is. I think it's right here, right? Oh yeah. You go here like this. You go up here like this. You go in here like this. Right? And we'll put another layer. What do we got here? We're still down to 4. Yeah, these are 6 gallons. Who said that? That was Russell. Yeah, Russell, these are 6 gallon. 5 gallons work great too. I was very lucky to get the 6 gallon. That one restaurant that I went to that had 6 gallons, I was very lucky. And there was so many times where I missed the day, and after a while I got addicted. And my kids know I have buckets, tons of buckets, brand new buckets, cleaned out over there in my basement where I'm working on. I should show you that. Tons of buckets back there, and I'm also working, I was doing aquaponics for a little bit. You know, my pool out back, I had a bunch of catfish in it, right? Brought them inside, set up an aquaponics system, and then, and I bought a nice little, if you're ever going to do aquaponics or get in a fountain, that little giant pump is a great pump. I had it many years ago when I was doing aquaponics strongly. But then, so I got all these beautiful little catfish. Some, some were kind of dying. I was losing a few every day. I had about 100 of them. And the fountain was still going. So I'm like, I am growing some microgreens, and I'm growing a couple beans just to experiment. I got some T8 light bulbs, right? So it's not the greatest. It's just what I had, just what I found. I set this aquaponics setup up, and I'll show it later on. I'll show the basic setup. I did take video of me setting it up. And then I thought, this is certainly not original, but vermiponics, right? Using worms. I still say soil does the same things, but I don't know why I feel a need to mimic water. So anyway, I have it set up where a 6-gallon bucket, I only have to turn it on like every other day. The pump only has to go on for like a minute every other day, right? We'll see how it works. I'll shoot a video on that when I'm done with the experiment. If it works. If it doesn't work, I probably won't share it. But the way I set the buckets up, they're set up in a Dutch bucket fashion. It's kind of unique. And so I'm not using fish waste. I ended up bringing all the fish back to the pond I got them. So I don't think I want fish in my pool anyway, although I'm going to have a natural swimming pool next year. I've been working on it for 2 years. Those of you who follow my channel know. Next year is going to be the bomb, I feel. And I might just throw a couple big bass. I'll go fishing one day, catch a couple big fish, and so when I'm in that pool, I can at least snorkel and see maybe a turtle, something, you know. Anyway, it doesn't matter anyway, because there will be life that goes. This year, again, if you followed my videos, you saw that there was thousands of little toads, pollywogs, that hatched. I need also a new casting bucket, nursery. And this one was already one that was already packed, ready to do another one. So I'm going to just take this out. For my nursery, when I do a nursery, I don't put a inner tube there. I just leave it like that. I just do the same thing, but only no inner tube. You know? I'll put a little in here for now. I'll put you guys right there for now. Excuse me. Let me go down to the bottom real quick here. Throw some duff. Like that. Worms. Handy little worms. I'm afraid I'm going to poke my finger on that wire. There we go. I need more worms than that, I think. There we go. Here's a nest of them. There we go. Look at all those angels of the soil as they turn all of my house compost into awesome soil amendments. All right, that needs a screen. I certainly don't want to take the time for that. Got the lid and cap. What do we got here? Let's see here. Brewer's another good tip. Yeah, Brewer's another good tip. Yeah, good. Yeah, good one, Russell there. FYI, I container gardened this summer in your Dutch bucket system helped out in the Arizona desert heat. Very well. Who is that? Cool, Carl. Is that Carl? I can't tell. I should know your last name, Carl, if you're the Carl I'm thinking of. If it's the Carl I'm thinking of, is it? Let's see here. Very important because I'm excited if he's here. I'm excited that Carl K is here too. Don't get me wrong. No, I'll look at it later. I don't know. I know this one guy, Carl. And I should know if it's Carl K or not. I can't remember it offhand. It's been a while. We've do Clubhouse together. We did it a lot more earlier. Guy's a wealth of knowledge, this guy, Carl. I could go. My phone's working. My iPad's doing this. Let me see if I can see if it's... Let's see here. No, I don't have time to do that. We gotta get this done. I don't want to waste anybody's time here. We're going live. It looks like I'm froze. No, I'm still going. All right, this one's done. Clubhouse, guys. I'll put my link there. I hope to open some Eve rooms. I've got a Clubhouse, Eve Clubhouse that I haven't done much with. And I hope to do something with. Do I gotta go outside I gotta go get a couple more Vernmenting bins, guys. So hang on tight. Don't move. I'll be right back. Take me no time. Where are we here? Yeah, right, Mark. Took you 5 minutes of crying out loud. I got one. They're all scattered out in the yard. One day, I'll get organized. Tell you what. All right, what are we going to do, guys? We're going to get a can. We're going to put that there. We're going to get a subfloor like this. We're going to put a piece of paper on it. Doesn't matter how thick. Let's just put this right here. Like that. Right? Oh, yeah, Carl. You think you're a different guy? Yeah. This guy, Carl, on Clubhouse, everything we talk about, he knows a little bit of everything, and he shares his information, and you just listen to him, you're like, geez, I'm Crow, is there anything you don't know? And he's so helpful with his information. So, Stacie Tee knows who I'm talking about. I don't know if Alberto, you're not on here, are you, tonight? I can't wait to talk to Alberto. Those in our Facebook group know Alberto. I can't wait till we have a room open together. Put a little duff on here like that. And throw you in there. You guys over here. See, these are the twigs. These are the twigs from other weeds that I've done. Let's throw it right back in. It's not quite done yet. A couple worms go in there, that's fine. They'll live and they'll eat whatever's not quite finished. All right, let's pack this. I'm finding too many worms as I'm skimming off the top. Well, let's put some compost in here. Yeah, good night, Carl K. Thanks for showing up. Appreciate it. We're gonna at least go to the bottom of these worms so you can see how many when I take that wire off. Again, this stuff I'm not using. This got too much something on it. I don't trust. If it's got any waxy substance on it, I don't use it. Here's what that worm chow looks like. Everything, folks. It's all about presentation. One could say, too, with fermenting, and they would be right, maybe it's a lot of parts. A lot of different parts. But they're free parts. But you still gotta, do you need the aeration tube? The aeration tube, again, for those who don't know, when they're stacked up, the water drips right through, so it doesn't necessarily drip onto the compost. It goes right on through, right outside the system. So it's not only an aeration tube, What you may not need, worms love going inside of them. Those of you who've seen me empty out some of them, you've seen them go inside. They do love it. So that's why I keep it. Because it's a drainage tube too. It's a conduit as well as an aeration tube. And can you see? I've been out moving leaves for the last few days in the cold. Good exercise, but a lot of sun. It's good for you. That's another thing about it. You get a workout. Otherwise, I wouldn't get a workout. A little duff on here. This duff, of course, comes from our CBCB. Make that too out of the leaves. It's closed loop, guys. That's the beauty of it. And basically, it's great for not only composting massive amounts of compost, it's great for inner cities that don't have the room. You know, you don't have to have 80 buckets like I have floating around. You start out with a 3-tower system, which is just small. You don't have to do all the stuff, the no-nos. Do all the greens. You vegans, crap, that's a no-brainer for you guys. You got all good stuff. You're already eating healthy, so your castings are going to be the healthiest of all, I would imagine. Though I contend anything that comes out of these red wigglers is good, as a positive. I don't think anybody's really tested. Maybe they have. We should ask Steve from the Urban Worm Bag. He would know. All right. So let's skim off the top a little as these worms went down. Because of the light, they go deeper and deeper. We're almost to the bottom. So that's what I'm going to do. Hopefully, this will be the last. We'll be able to see how many are under the screen. Of course, I've already taken many thousands out already, right? That's how it starts building. You know, when I packed with, I think it was 11 we ended up dumping out this morning, or this afternoon. We dumped out about 11 of them. Excuse me. And we filled with all old material, I think 2 bins, because we got a lot of castings on that run. 2 bins. And we used the material that was left over, had a bunch of worms in it. So I left them in it, and I didn't add any more to it. And all those worms are here to add to the new ones. And that's how you build upon your farm. It just gets bigger and bigger from there. And I've been experimenting a lot in my backyard. So a lot of my farms are working outside in my towers. That I bury composting rolls in the towers, as I've said in another video. I bury them in there in the fall and in the spring. Because we do, it's as cold as it is. It's still about 40 out there. It's not 32 degrees yet out there. So the worms are still active. And they're turning those composting rolls in my grow towers into castings. Right out there. So, there again, I said this in the other video. I said these towers, these Eve towers, the one I just posted a couple videos down, that tower is going to be 2022. And you got to stay tuned for that because I'm getting ready to do it commercially like. Where you just turn one button and all the towers are watered. When the irrigation comes out, that's saved and used on other towers. It's so great. You people from California, if you're listening, anybody of authority, you guys need freaking to save your water, right? So you got to stop these commercial growing practices, especially when there is a way to save your irrigation. It's a no-brainer. So contact me. I'm willing to, I certainly would love to come out to California on the off-grow season and get some paid work. And I'll show you. We could we can get 2022 grow towers going. I could build you 10 grow towers in no time, you know? And another thing to know with these grow towers is you can't use your regular soil. You have to use compost. You have to use the stuff you get in the stores. But of course, here in New England with all these leaves, that's our compost come spring. So we don't have to buy even that. So I'm going to take the screen up now, Stacie Tee, to see what we got going on. And for me, with this application, I think if it's more of a nuisance for me. In this particular application. We'll talk about that. All these guys are going to go right in here. Boom. All these are going to go right in here. Boom. And yeah, I think all that weight from that, I don't know. This didn't work for me. That system. Are you there, Stacie Tee? Oh, wait a minute here. I think we should off. All right, let's see how we got here. Good night. Okay, Carl was the last. My froze on there. What are we at? We're at 75. These guys will come on out of here. I guess I could close it down. This is about how many I have left. Enough for this spin, I think. I could probably get another bin out of it if I have one down here. I don't see one. I think I'm going to close this out because there's not that many worms. The big surprise was there was no surprise. The big surprise was there's no surprise. I'm going to throw all these worms right in this composting bin here. I'm going to let them go down. And then, let me go like this. Yeah, put that like that. They'll go down inside there. Like that. Oh, bother. Come on now. All right, so I'm going to go like that. What I'm going to do is let the light have them go down. I'm going to take as much of the castings as I can. I'll probably get about here with the castings. I got, what did I get? Let's see here. I got about 2.5 of castings because, again, I have no great rush for these castings right now, so I put a lot more castings than I would normally. And I usually take off the top and I wait till they go down. And at the very end of the time, that's when I get all my worms. But in this particular case, I just dug down with my hand into the pile and took out a handful and threw it in. So I was just moving fast on there. There's a couple rules you have to be mindful of. You don't want it to get hot. The thermophilic stage happens within a day or two. And if you do it right, it won't happen at all. Sometimes this basement gets down to gets up to like 90 degrees down here with the furnace. And if your bin is hot and the room is hot, then you're making a big mistake. But I've been doing something right because I've been doing it for a couple summers now with great success. So Vernmenting, as we said in another video, the other video earlier, does it need a name? Is it just typical vermiculture? It's just in buckets. And that could be, but I think it needs its own name because it's unique in the sense that you can pack it and leave it for a very long time. The system can like I said, expand and contract. Expand and contract? Yeah. I guess I'm done. Let me see here. I don't see any more questions on here. I guess I'm going to take these gloves off. I said that too. I wish they made these biodegradable. So we did a couple live videos today. November 19th, 2021. Okay, what's going on here? I don't see any more questions here to be answered, unless I'm missing something. Let me try to... This is kind of frozen on here, and it's not frozen. Oh, it's still going on there. Let's do something here. Let's see if I can't get this thing rebooted up. Close all these windows. And then we'll go to YouTube and see if we can't start this all up again. Oh, Mark is live. Let's see here. Library. Boom. All right, it says he's live. Boy, you look red, Mark. All right, good. All right, that was the last comment. Carl said good night. Let me scan through here. Notice you added some lime. Okay, we got that one. Stacie Tee, me too. It seems to me red worms eat your garbage. Yep, we read that one. If I found the bottom. Nice. Good tip. Well, let's see. We got 3 or 2 people watching. Appreciate it. I'm going to close the room, as we say in Clubhouse. I'll put the Clubhouse link below tomorrow sometime. Come join Clubhouse and let's talk in real time and talk about stuff. Talk about how we're going to get things right, how we're going to start doing stuff for ourselves, and hopefully make money at urban farming. As I said in another video too, I know I keep repeating myself here, my job is to usher in an agrarian society using today's technology. The ultimate goal is going to be mobile gardens, where these gardens move amongst us and they come from the paved areas or from the rooftop and they come into your little spot where the grower is working. That place is a place where we hang out and these towers come. We'll mechanize that as well, the watering aspect, so you got people just looking at it. So we can do stuff that we want, that interests us, that keeps the mind active. And that's going to be a beautiful day when we go to work and it's not called work. It's just kind of more fun than anything. Once this stuff is set up, you really can leave it. Not this, but our towers. And I'm rambling on, as I've been known to do. So, okay, I'm going to close the room. God bless everybody. Thanks for showing up. And have a good weekend. Ending the room now.